Hello and welcome to the DFS_PhD show for today, the 18th of January. Remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. Congratulations, T-Chill 15. One lineup, one golden lineup. Oh yeah, you can't see on the he swept through a whole bunch of positive or a whole bunch of satellites. I do see a few of these positive EV as well. Ooh, winner take all. I never played those. That's fun. Or I did the other day because there's overlay. But yeah, that's nice. I like to see that. Also, make sure you're joining us over at um, the Prize Picks Discord because we hit one yesterday. Only at 2x, unfortunately, because of Jabari Smith Jr. getting 30 minutes in a competitive game, or a game that like kind of went uncompetitive at the very end, which was going to be his shift. So every other starter except him and Jalen Green got full 40 minutes. They get 31. Give me those 40 minutes. We'll have that one. I have already got one out for today, which is a correlation pick for the Memphis, Minnesota blowout and the Sacramento, Indianapolis blowout, Indiana blowout. I do that every single show. Now we do have an unboxing part of the show. So I'm supposed to look like supposed to do some sort of knife thing. I don't know. I don't actually know how to open the knife. There we go. I'm supposed to pull out the knife cool on camera, my wife said, but didn't really work out because I'm not really not good at knives. This is her pocket knife. I've never owned a pocket knife. Okay. That explains how things go over here in our family. Yeah, it's the boombox. Wow, that's a big ass. It's much bigger than I was expecting. That's pretty dope. Wow. So this is from SaberSim. We're doing the Max Challenge this year. Whoa, dude. That's dope. This is a charging station. All right, cool. Well, I thought it was going to have all the stuff, but it only had a little bit of the stuff. Nonetheless, we are not upset by what I think is a pretty cool speaker or something like that. Let me pull it out of its little speaker hole. Oh, yeah. It's a pretty nice little guy. Ooh, a SaberSim branded speaker. Booyah. So we'll set this up over here, be jamming. And actually, mostly probably put it in my basketball bag and bring it to basketball as a backup in case the dude who normally brings that doesn't bring his. Well, that was fun. I thought there was going to be a little bit more swag in there, but excuse me, I forget that they have their own, you know, vendors and stuff. So we probably get to do another unboxing video pretty soon. And thank you to Madison and also to SaberSim for that. Man, the Max Challenge, you guys should do it. You should join SaberSim, obviously, but like if you're on SaberSim, there's no excuse not to do the Max Challenge. If you're on SaberSim, like the 150 plans or lineups one, because in addition to like $200 worth of swag like this, they also gave me $600 worth of free SaberSim. And I'm like, I did the math. It's like 16 weeks of $75 of an outlay. It was a good deal. I'm happy that I have so much free SaberSim again this year. That always makes things feel a lot better. Lowers the bar in terms of where we have to get. Yesterday was good for me too. It's just like I had probably, what was it, like 30 plus cash out of 40. But when that happens, you want to take down, man. And I didn't quite have any of those magical pieces to take it down. So that was frustrating. Because I thought it was, man, I thought it was gonna be really good. You guys know I was all over some of those main pieces, my core, Quickley, Barrett, everybody smashing. Why are they not unowned again today? If they're unowned again today, I can tell you exactly what we're doing. We're going right back to the well. Now, that's another thing. We have to check and make sure. But Gafford is hurt, and Marvin Bagley, if available from trade, probably winds up being the best play on the slate. Don't love it. It's a new environment. You have no idea how many minutes he's going to get. He's chalky. Nonetheless, yeah, I mean, he's the play of the slate. There's no doubt about it. Randall, you just get to because of the usage in that scenario. I don't think there's anything. Oh, because they're going against Washington. Washington's like a sieve for points. So, yeah, that makes sense. Gregory Jackson is another of those that, like, I checked it on the popcorn machine. He did get those minutes last game. This is defensible. It was a close game. So, whether or not the game is close, Gregory Jackson's a good bet. You know what? Yeah, I've talked myself into him being core. just because he is probably blowout proof in a game that may blow out. You just saw me bet the blowout of this game a second ago. However, I think you got to bet the odds. This game is not 100% a blowout. This game is probably 35% a blowout. That's why I'm betting the blowout, right? Because 65% is a good edge, right? But nonetheless, yeah. So 35% chance it's not a blowout. I forget which way I was going with that. Possible there was some bad math there, but that's how that goes. Okay. So I added a new rule, which I realized I needed to get to before we go much further. The Jontay and Thad fork. I think that it's not always going to be the case that Thad gets 30 minutes off the bench and Jontay gets just a little bit, like happened yesterday. Jontay got, again, 2 fouls pretty quick. Got his 3rd foul. A little bit surprised that the stint he got pulled so fast for Thaddeus in the 3rd quarter because he did not get another foul there. So he wasn't entirely foul limited. Like he had 2 and then 3. And it seemed like that's what was happening, was he was being limited by fouls, but then they just pull him. So he's risky, but I'm not sure that every team is like, I mean, they don't have a Bam Adebayo on every team. They may not pull him in the exact same way. They may not start him. And if they don't start him, maybe it's better for both players. Either way, I have them in a 28-28 situation right now because I don't know which one of them gets the minutes, but whoever it is probably going to smash a pretty significant smash on the slate, which, since it's a pretty small slate, will I allow myself 50% Thad Young? Sure. They just leave him out there forever. It's really, and he's a decent point per minute guy. So yeah, yep. I'm seeing the guys I want to see up here at the top now, honestly, except for Randall's like fine, but he's not like a priority. Let's scatter him around the rest of the dudes. Yeah, okay, we get Shea. Awesome. Core Shea, dope. Okay. Yeah, I love seeing Shea up here with the rest of the guys. So I don't normally get to a lot of Shea, but if it's a Shea slate, I'm excited because he is very consistent. I'm never upset when I have to have Shea out there because he's gonna get you points. Like he might not get you 65, 70 points. He's definitely getting you 50 on a game where he plays all of them, all the minutes. So reading it off from top to bottom for those of you on the podcast, thank you again for joining us. I do see consistent dozen of you or so on the podcast every day. So yeah, and also to the hundreds more of you who are watching this. Great to see you again. You can probably see we have a front-facing light back, which now shows me I got to take care of the room a little bit better. You know, now that the front-facing light is back here in the early morning show. Again, this is the early morning show. This is more of like a slate starter type video. So you need to double check the news. If you don't have a way to double check the news, you probably can't play this slate. Let's see. So there's a 6 o'clock game. Yeah, I should be able to have, I'll have all the news. We're not really waiting on any starters or any questionable people from that game, right? Yeah, so Utah, nobody questionable. Oklahoma City, nobody questionable. So yeah, I'm not expecting any hijinks in that game. And as such, will not be carefully late swapping in the 30 minutes leading up to that window since I have to do some work. Okay. But yeah, I was just about to say to you guys, you gotta be ready to late swap. You gotta listen to news because that's probably what I mean, most slates are about. You wind up with 5 games. That's 10 teams with 15 people on the roster each, 150 people. Some of whom are new on the roster. Some of whom are like flying in from other places. All sorts of weird complications you could have at shoot around. What was it like DeAndre Ayton? There's ice in his neighborhood and he couldn't get to the game, right? Like they had people there all day trying to salt the roads. Could not get DeAndre Ayton out of his house. So wildest situation I've ever seen. But I mean, that's like like it's a thing that happens to people. Like that's not I'm not saying I think that DeAndre Ayton should have like ice skated to work. I have no idea what the solution is. If you get a guy who lives up in frickin' a castle, that's why dudes don't live all the way up in the middle of nowhere. All right. That's yeah, none of these other I don't have any other really strong takes here on the slate. So I'm just gonna say, hey, you're good enough, you're strong enough. And gosh darn it. Oh, max 2 out of 3 Minnesota Bigs. I don't know if I mentioned that rule is on today. But gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. Might as well be us.